What is up, everybody? JD here. I hope you're doing well today. In all likelihood, this is a bittersweet moment for me because we're probably looking at my very last recording in this home that my family and I have spent the last 7 years making a ton of memories, and also where I actually started this channel. Let's get into it. All right, guys, so I thought we would have a little bit of fun. This is the last video in this house where I started this channel, where I have made a ton of memories with my family, but we are excited about the new chapter. So instead of being all sappy and sad about it, I was like, you know what would be a lot of fun? I haven't done this in a little while. Let me update you with my most carried knives. Now, there is a caveat because a couple are packed away. So just a quick shout out to the Kaiser Mini Grouper N3V and the Asher Knives Little Buddy and S90V for two fixed blades that I really do enjoy carrying a lot in the evenings and on the weekends. But I had to skinny it down, and I needed a lot of stuff that I could still office carry, and that would also flex into the weekend. But I think we do have a pretty good list. So just to quickly start it off, we're going to set this one aside. Two modern traditional folders that I really am loving. It's going to be the QSP Hedgehog Spear Point with the abalone scales and 14C 28N hollow ground blade. I really love the spear point version of this one. Nice hand-filling grip with the contoured scales. Beautifully finished. The 14C 28N does a great job. I really use this to open some packages in mail and some miscellaneous cutting tasks, like cutting tabs or cutting some loose strings and things of that nature. But I do not refrain from, when I open a package, breaking that box down with this one. And it really could be a great option as a worker, in my opinion, because it does have a nice hand-filling grip, does have a hole for a lanyard for those of you out there that like that, and the walk and talk on this one is good. I think it's got a nice even pull for the half and full open positions, and it really snaps closed. And again, I really love how seamless the steel back spring is along with the steel liners. It's just a beautiful piece. And I did pick mine up from Traditional Pocket Knives. I do like supporting them. So I do have a link down in the description if you're interested in using that and supporting a beautiful local business, veteran owned. I mean, what's not to love about it? But that is the Spearpoint Hedgehog. The other one that I'm carrying in my Quick Draw XL is going to be the Jack Wolf Wolf Gateway Barlow. I really like this one. This is from their under $100 kind of entry level line, and I think it's fantastic. You get 14C 28N, which I think is a fantastic steal for a modern traditional folder. You get pin construction with contoured scales, nice full-sized knife too. I love that this is a nice hand-filling size. This is right up my alley. It's got a nice clip point that's low, so it's great for utility work, and it is just really thin and slicey. Great walk and talk. This one has a kick, so this is actually just stopping on the back spring versus having the stop pin like the Spearhog. So you get a little bit of a different sound on the walk and talk. It's a little bit more crisp, a little bit more of a poppy sound. But I've gotten a ton of carry out of this one. Nice strong pulls on the opening. Now, if you have smaller hands, I have like very large hands, so I do have to kind of squeeze into the pinch to get in there, as you can see, but I don't think that you would need to do that necessarily if you had like medium to large hands. Now, I do want to say it is very interesting. I don't know where they're getting their abalone manufactured from versus where Jack Wolf is, but you can see a little bit more vibrant colors on the Gateway Barlow and a much different pattern. This one here has more raindrop style or topo design, if you want to call it that. This one just has more randomized pattern to it. So I do really like the way that they they vary and how they differ. And I love how this has more like green and yellows in it, and this one has more turquoise and blues. So I love the differences on those. Let's get into the folders. All right, we're going to kick it off with one that is a little bit newer to the collection, but has really found its way into the pockets a ton, and that is going to be the Concept Raven. I like this one. It's got nice chamfered scales on it. It does have a beautiful party flow inlay, but they have a couple of different options if you're not into the camo carbons that I really like. You got a quarter length back spacer with a lanyard post. I like that because it doesn't require a hole being drilled into the face of the knife. Beautiful pocket clip on here, titanium, both for the back spacer and the pocket clip. This one functions very well. I was a little worried about it being shorter, but man, they just are doing such a good job with this pocket clip design. Thank you, Concept, for not making that an afterthought. Thumb stud only deployment, and man, that thing absolutely fires. Nice access to the lock bar that lets you disengage it. Beautiful 20 CV drop point blade shape. Black washed here, very thin and slicey. So far, the 20 CV has held a really good edge, and I am getting a lot of use out of this. The coating so far holding up very nicely as well. As I mentioned, good access to the lock bar. On this one here, you can kind of let it drop to the thumb like that, and then you are, yeah, like that, and you are past the detent ball for the closing. So it's a good disengagement. Detent ball a little late there, but again, you can keep that thumb in there all the way up to this point, and you still have plenty of clearance there, so you don't have to worry about it dropping to the thumbnail. Good control closing with those race washers that are in here. So bearings, ceramic bearings, Delrin style, that are riding inside of the pocketed washer. That's how they're able to get such tight tolerances like they do. I really do like that one a lot. One thing that's interesting to note on this particular one, the thumb studs are your stop pin in the open position, and then the close pin here is way back. Let's see if I can find the mark. I'm in a little bit of a low lighting in this room, but basically it is right where it's right here where the thickest part of the blade starts to curve before that sharpening choil. Good sharpening choil on here. They got the plunge guide way far back off of here, so you get lots of sharpening life out of this one if you were going to use and abuse and, you know, damage the edge a lot with the type of work that you're going to be doing. So you would need to put a new edge on it, or you could just lay it back and cut with it and strop that edge once you've got the edge angle that you prefer. But man, I really like this one. Full 4-finger grip on there. You know, that's my criteria. It's got to be a great knife ergonomically, and this one really is. I like this one. Great all-arounder, great size for this particular loadout or carry. Keeping it with Concept, while that one I think is a great all-around EDC, we have an excellent full-size offering here with the Caveman, and I absolutely love this one. I got the Gecko inlay with the black washed handles, beautiful pivot collar on here, half-length back spacer made from titanium, and again, an excellent pocket clip. Doesn't catch, doesn't snag, goes in and out of the pocket beautifully, retains, isn't just a plain Jane looking clip on this one either. I like the design with this. Thumb stud for your deployment, and man, that thing absolutely fires. Again, you do have ceramic bearings, Delrin style, riding and pocketed washers, so very smooth action. You got 20 CV here and your modified reverse tanto or your sheep's foot blade shape, whichever you prefer to call it. It is actually a very slicey knife, considering that it does not take the full flat grind all the way up, but it is a decently thin stock. They get it out to a nice acute tip, and the performance and action on this are absolutely awesome for its size. And as I mentioned, it is a full-size knife. You see I got plenty of space here. It has a dedicated forge choil for choke up in a trigger position. You can see I got plenty of clearance there. Nice control, can get way out to the tip. Great pinch grip on this, even though it is a large knife, very easy to control for those detailed cuts. I do apologize, I've been moving today, so greasy fingerprints all over all of these today, but I do carry and use these, so it is what it is. Just excellent action on this one. I did tune up the detent a little bit. I wanted it to be just a little bit more stout. I might actually tune it back a little bit because it is pretty stout now. When I go to hit that reverse flick, it kind of pinches a little bit or pokes a little bit on that middle finger, so I might need to dial it back a little bit. I think I got a little, or I went a little overboard with this particular one, but that's the Caveman, guys. All right, up next is going to be the Berg Blades Alpha. If you saw this when I originally got it, you probably are not surprised to see this on the list. My biggest complaint about this is just a little tight on the pocket clip. I would just like a little tiny bit more clearance. It'll go in there, but it's a little snug. As it gets close to the end, you got to give it a little bit of force. But that's my only complaint. Nice contoured scales. You have a pocket for deployment along with a front flipper. This one here is Magna Cut steel that has been black washed. I like this whole dark washed. I like the whole even dark wash look. Good access to the lock bar for disengagement. Front flipper action is outstanding on here. I do have the multi-row skiff bearings on this one, and man, this thing has really broken in nicely. Nice slicey blade on here. The Magna Cut from Rayot seems to be done very well. I have no complaints so far about its performance. It seems like it's pretty good. I don't think it's as good as the Magna Cut that I have from Spyderco, but it certainly seems better than it is from some other brands. If you have larger hands, this is a great model for you. I would even say medium, you would still really enjoy this one, but it is still finding its way into the pocket a ton. All titanium construction. Don't know what else I can say about this one. That's the Alpha. All right, coming in at number 2, and it has roared its way to the number 2 spot, is going to be the new Manual TR3 Integrity from ProTech. What can I say, guys? ProTech is still the king when it comes to button locks. The thumb studs on here are done really well. I love the action on this one. I did swap out the steel bearings for skiff bearings for that ceramic ball action on here. It's really, really smooth. Nice and centered on this one. I do like the relic pattern, and the blue anodized on the aluminum here looks really good. Pocket clip has a landing pad on it. Pocket clip works really well also. Nice retention. It doesn't look like it will clear, but it actually goes into the pocket very nicely. And like I said, you would not know that this was a plunge style button lock. It feels like it has a true detent on it. And as you can see, it has broken in really, really smooth. I like the full 4-finger grip on here. Very comfortable to use. This one here has the S35VN on it, and it is done very well. It has held up well. This is a PVD coating. I think that's the only thing that I wish is that it had a DLC instead of a PVD, but it's held up pretty well. And like I said, I think the combination with the black and the blue, very nice. And again, it has roared its way into the number 2 spot on my list in my current inventory. All right, guys, last but not least is going to be my Bodacious. And while I do like the Bodacious on its own as a standalone, I wanted to wait for a different steel that I've never had before. So I got the Spy 27 version of the Bodacious, and I really like this steel. It is performing very well. Don't know what I would compare it to just yet. I do think I want to spend a little bit more time with this one, just to see how it performs, to see if it does kind of remind me of anything. I believe the closest comparable is this is kind of Spyderco's recipe to compete with or be on par with like S30V, but it does have the compression lock, and since installing the contoured micro milled or knurled, whatever you want to call that pattern, scales from Applied Weapon Tech, I really just cannot carry this one enough. Rips Garage Gear pocket clip made out of titanium. Meton Boss Gear titanium backspacer to complete this build. And I just really, really like this one. I have carried it a lot. I think at the very least, it makes it into the pocket twice a week. And that's really saying something for a knife. Now, I do think with the one linerless side of this scale, I believe if I recall correctly, it did reduce the weight a little bit, so it's even lighter. And if you did not like or do not like the flat scales of the Bodacious, the contoured scales on the Applied Weapon Tech scales are a really nice option. This thing is very hand melting as far as the ergos are concerned. And as you can see, the washer action on here is very smooth and well broken in. But that's the top of my list, guys. We have the Spyderco Bodacious coming in at number 1. We have the ProTech Integrity TR3 coming in at number 2 for most carried since my last update. We got the Berg Blades Alpha. The Concept Caveman is coming in on the number 4 spot for what I'm carrying the most here lately. And the Concept Raven for the top 5 folding knives that I've been carrying since we last did this update. And then again, just a couple of modern traditional folders that I do like as a companion carry, or something that I would put in the 5th pocket or in my actual pouch to carry with a flashlight and a pen. Let me know what you guys think about this loadout. Do you like this one or not? Do you have any of these that you are carrying? Or after this, are you interested in picking any up? If you are, I have links down below. I have discount codes for Concept to help you save a little money, and I will link the Applied Weapon Tech and the video for that install in case you're interested in that for yourself, along with the goodies that I have on that one. If you enjoyed the video, a like would be appreciated. If you are not subscribed, definitely consider subscribing. I'd love to have you follow along as I grow the channel. Shout out to the channel members. I am signing off my last video from this house. Kind of sad. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me today. Catch you guys on the next one. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. Goodbye.